Hey, my name is Mike Norton. I am a physicist, an award-winning marketing strategist, and a veteran of the U.S. Navy. I have been traveling the world for almost 20 years. I became a nomad throughout the process of turning a temporarily bad situation into a wonderful one as a homeless veteran in 2012. To do so, I spent 4 years in the Shanxi mountain range of China, and I've been spending the rest of the years traveling throughout Europe and Alaska. With these videos, I do not mean to present myself as a master of anything, but merely an ever-learning student, sharing what I learn as I grow. Welcome to my journal. Okay, so what you see before you today is the Mystery Ranch Blackjack 100. It's a special pack specifically designed for Special Forces. Okay, so the first item up is my canteen. Now, ordinarily, canteens are produced in a kind of dark green plastic or a dark tin. However, I specifically wanted a stainless steel canteen for its antimicrobial benefits devoid of microplastics. What you see at the top of it is how I've wrapped it in black athletic tape. This is not simply to improve my grip over the flask to compensate for how smooth the steel has been forged. It is also to eliminate the shine. If I'm ever stealth camping, something as tiny as my canteen shining in the moonlight has the potential to give me away. Can't allow that to happen. Only the top is covered, however, because the rest of the canteen disappears inside the side of the pack. Next up is my sleeping system. The Blackjack 100 is named 100 because it is capable of holding up to 100 liters of items with a special extension at the bottom specifically for your sleeping bag. You'll notice how I keep my sleeping bag wrapped nice and tight, having developed my own method of securing it with paracord to do so. With it, you'll see how I also combine it with a ghillie blanket set to match the surrounding area. By putting my ghillie blanket on top of my bivy bag containing my sleeping bag, I can disappear into the trees undetected while sleeping. Depending on how well I execute my choice of location, there may be people who come within feet or even inches of me and not even realize I'm there. On the lower middle of the front of the pack, you'll see 3 different zip pockets. The first items of my far left one are 2 sets of paracords. These have a variety of uses, such as setting up traps necessary to feed myself long term, though my only limit with the paracord is really my own creativity. Next up, we have a water-resistant portable solar and crank charger with an emergency light and radio. Now, this is a great tool to use as a backup power source for items like my iPhone or laptop in an emergency. For years, I took this thing for granted, but it ended up legitimately saving my ass in Norway once. Then, looks like we have ourselves some duct tape. Now, duct tape can be used for damn near anything, from fixing things like patching up for unexpected holes in your gear to acting as slow-burning, fire-starting fuel, or even emergency rope making. Duct tape is legendary for its variety of uses. Just like the paracord, the only limit is really your own creativity. Oh, but wait, and what do we have here? Looks like we have ourselves some gaiters. We use these to sharpen up our uniforms in the military, but I realized somewhere along the way that they have real utility in the bush. You can use these to create a seal between your pants and your boots, drastically aiding and protecting you from ticks or really any creepy crawlers from making their way up your legs while you're moving, sitting, or even sleeping. When combined with water-resistant pants like the Duluth ones I'm wearing, the seal the gaiters create simultaneously protect you from getting wet in the rain and shallow water, which means that keeping these handy and active on your ankles directly contributes to preventing the development of trench foot. Always keep your feet dry. I pack a ton of them whenever I head out into the bush because I have a tendency to lose them whenever I take my shoes off at night. And once they drop into the grass, sometimes they can become impossible to find. So I always keep spares. In the next lower middle pocket, I keep miscellaneous items like an extra hat, conflict gloves, a compass, my headlamp, as well as my GoPro camera. In the third middle lower pocket, I keep my gas canisters for cooking. The design of these will change depending upon which country I am in, as I cannot bring these on flights and trains with me. So whenever I travel anywhere new, I usually have to buy new ones that are governmentally approved for that respective country on location before I head out. Turning the bag over to the other side, you'll see where I keep my bivy bag, the final piece of my sleeping system, unless I decide to bring a sleeping pad as well. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends on several variables. Now here is what I call my tech bag. This compartment isn't actually a part of a stock Blackjack 100. Instead, I decided to customize my ruck by buying this pocket separately and adding it via Molly. Inside, you'll see that I have a waterproof bag. And in this bag, you'll see my electronic support items, such as my 10,000 watt-hour external battery for any USB-powered items, as well as extra USB-A, C, and iPhone chargers. Now, this is a special item. It's a universal plug adapter. You can find cheap versions of these easily on Amazon, but with this one, I decided to get a very high quality one that even comes with a built-in fuse. Different countries have different plug outlets, so with this, I can fly anywhere to any country and instantly adapt to their electrical standards without fear of blowing out my laptop or other electronics as they charge while I use them. The compartment, as well as the entire bag, is already water resistant, but I've taken no chances by adding the extra waterproof bag as a kind of insurance. I make sure that my chargers stay dry for when I need them, so that I'm not worried if I decide to ruck it hard in the rain or slip and fall into a river. I need the little things to be taken care of that will otherwise infest my mind and detract from the psychologically beneficial experience of being in the mountains. Hey guys, so there are going to be more people visiting my channel, especially as I shift the direction of the content to make it more visually appealing and less esoteric. And if you're one of them, you may find interest in reading my memoir. I wrote it about 12 years ago, embarrassingly so, in a way that required heavy revision. However, if you're looking for a kind of origin story, it is a fictional memoir based on the very real events of my life. However, I take poetic liberty to deliver some creative points, particularly along the theme and moral of facing the ugliness of one's own character. So in the book, I draft myself as a kind of anti-hero, and the point is to therapeutically face oneself as necessary to work through dysgenic trauma in order to break a cycle that's plagued generations of my family. And I'm sure many people who come from traumatic pasts will be able to relate. You can find the book on Amazon.com, published on either Kindle or in paperback format. And while the primary target audience is actually my children, I'm very certain that if you come from a traumatic past, you'll be able to resonate with a lot of what's said, not merely on the lines, but in between them.